Now at 10, Oklahoma voters decide whether to legalize recreational marijuana. We have the results. Plus, the latest on a manhunt following multiple overnight incidents involving gunfire in Pittsburgh. And the Carl Junction girls aim for their 8th consecutive district title. We have the highlights.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
It's a big night in Oklahoma as voters decide whether to approve the legalization of recreational marijuana. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Voters rejected the measure. It would have allowed anyone age 21 and over to purchase and possess up to 1 ounce of marijuana, including concentrates and marijuana-infused products. With nearly all the precincts in, more than 60% of voters opposed the measure. The state approved medical marijuana in 2018. The search for the fugitive Crawford County, Kansas man authorities called armed and dangerous is over. Aaron Swink is now in police custody tonight. Authorities found Swink near South 220th Street in Pittsburgh around 6:30 this evening. No one was injured during the capture. Crawford County Sheriff Danny Smith says he expects Swink will face several new charges. Law enforcement spent all day looking for Swink. According to the sheriff, Swink is a suspect in incidents involving gunfire that started around 11 last night. Among other things, he had been suspected of shooting at a car parked at a home overnight and exchanging gunfire with officers. A ground and air search throughout the day today concentrated largely on the south side of Pittsburgh. Swink had previously been convicted on battery and kidnapping charges. He was on parole and was considered an absconder. Newton County authorities have released the name of the victim in Saturday's shooting in the area of Carver Road and Highway MM. Authorities say 45-year-old Jamie Hodges had been shot while in a car. They say he's still being treated in an area hospital. Authorities say the incident involved 3 people in another vehicle. At the scene, detectives arrested one of those people, Cody Jones. Warrants were issued for the other 2, Trevor Palmer and Kimber Laquette. All are charged with first-degree assault, first-degree criminal or armed criminal action, and second-degree assault. Again, the victim in this case is in the hospital. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation and Mayes County Sheriff's Office are looking into a suspicious death. Mayes County authorities say they were led on a car chase around midnight. The car went off the road into a field on Highway 412 in Locust Grove. When officers got to the car, they found the male driver with what seemed to be a gunshot wound to the head. There's no word yet on the cause, why he was shot. Let's check in with meteorologist Sam Lane now for a first look at the weather.
All right, thank you very much, Dow. We've had quite a bit of rain across the area this afternoon. We still have rain on radar. You can see extending all the way down I-44 through Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and some bigger storms down near Lawton. And this activity is going to continue to roll across the same areas overnight, and that's why we're looking at the possibility of some heavy rainfall, especially down to our south. Right now, some of the strongest storms are right along I-44 on the south side of Joplin, over to between Joplin and Neosho, on over towards Mount Vernon. Some rumbles of thunder here and there. Heaviest rainfall has been along that line, basically from northern Craig County right through the metro area up towards Stockton, and also another area near Mound Valley, north of Fort Scott, and earlier up near Yates Center and Iola. We're going to see these scattered showers and storms continuing for a few more hours. Then it'll just turn cloudy with lows dropping down into the mid-40s. And looking down the lane, we have more rain on the forecast tonight, and then cloudy mainly tomorrow, and then the rain comes back on Thursday with a wet weekend in store as well, and I'll have all the details on that in just a little while.
See you soon. I want to make a correction to a story we ran last night about a school bond issue in Carthage. Yesterday we said the bond was for $18 million. That is incorrect. It's actually for $26 million. The bond would go toward funding a performing arts center and a baseball field. If approved, it would continue the current tax rate through 2040. The Vernon County Historical Society held its 7th annual Night at the Museum fundraiser. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
The community of Vernon County came out to support the local museum during this annual Night at the Museum program.
It has really taken off. We had to take a couple breaks for a couple years during COVID, but last year we restarted it and we had a really great turnout.
The Night at the Museum is the Historical Society's biggest fundraiser of the year, raising money to host free community events once warmer weather arrives. It features a dinner, games, and a show from the Nevada High School Choir.
Well, this is a great way for the community to come together to experience the museum and also just share some fellowship and good food. So it's a lot of fun, and we'll be wrapping the evening up with some bingo games.
The Night at the Museum is not only a staple in the community, but a tradition that the high schoolers look forward to.
My freshman year, which was, that was like 3 or 4 years ago, we performed our World's Fair show here, and that was really fun. And so I'm very excited we get to do it again this year.
So this is one of my last performances, kind of sentimental.
The Night at the Museum adopted the theme of a barn house showdown.
It's like, we're at a barn dance. It's just kind of a good time, and I feel like it's pretty enjoyable to watch, so.
Reporting in Nevada, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
The Vernon County Historical Society plans more events for the community. After 35 years in various public service positions, Joplin's Police Chief Sloan Rowland will retire on June 1st. Chief Rowland started his career as an EMT working for the Cherokee County, Kansas Ambulance Service. In 1987, he started his law enforcement career as a patrolman for Galena, Kansas. Rowland joined the Joplin Police Department in 2003 and worked his way up to become chief in 2019.
I think it's a lot more professional now than it was when I started. I think you see people that are looking at this as a career field, not just a job. Technology, I can't talk enough about how much technology's changed in my career.
Assistant Chief Brian Lewis will serve as the interim police chief as the city searches for a permanent replacement. The Joplin Police Department tomorrow will hold a memorial service for its 2 fallen officers from last year. It's in honor of Corporal Ben Cooper and Officer Jake Reed. They gave their lives in the line of duty in a confrontation with a gunman on March 8th of last year. The service is going to be at the Public Safety Training Facility at 5102 Swede Lane in Webb City, Missouri. Chief Rowland and several others will speak on the sacrifices and heroic acts of the officers. There will be an additional service on Saturday to honor Officer Jake Reed. His organs were donated as a final act of service on March 11th. That ceremony will honor his sacrifice and will include a Joplin City Council proclamation for Jake Reed Day. Coming up, 2 Americans killed in Mexico while 2 are back in the U.S. We'll have details on the violent kidnappings. Plus, why the U.S. is easing travel restrictions for travelers from China. Mexican officials say no ransom was involved in today's recovery of the 4 kidnapped Americans. 2 are alive and recovering in a U.S. hospital, but 2 others sadly are dead. CBS's Christian Benavides is following the story.
2 of the 4 Americans kidnapped in Mexico last week were found alive at this stash house about a half hour from where they were taken. Latavia McGee and Eric Williams received medical care and were then brought back to the U.S. to a hospital in Brownsville, Texas. McGee, Williams, and 2 friends, Shaid Woodard and Zindel Brown, were in Mexico so McGee could have a cosmetic surgery, but they got caught in the crossfire between 2 cartels. Woodard and Brown were killed.
We thank our Mexican and U.S. law enforcement partners for their efforts to find these innocent victims, and the task forward is to ensure that justice is done.
Last year, more than 1 million Americans traveled to Mexico for health tourism, spending about $250 million. What do you make of this outcome?
So it poses a huge problem, especially when you combine it with the unbridled brutality of the cartels.
38-year-old Williams, a husband and father, was shot in the leg. CBS News spoke to his wife, Michelle, who didn't want to show her face.
Did he tell you anything about that moment at all?
No, we didn't discuss it because it was, to hear his voice, it was just a lot of crying.
Mexican authorities say this 24-year-old man was arrested in connection to the attack. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
The governor of the Mexican state they were in says the bodies of the two dead will be turned over to the U.S. following forensic work. The Biden administration is preparing to relax COVID-19 testing restrictions for travelers from China as soon as Friday, according to two people familiar with the decision. The people who were not authorized to comment publicly and spoke on the condition of anonymity said the administration has decided to roll back the testing requirements. It says cases, hospitalizations, and deaths are declining in China, and the U.S. has gathered better information about the surge. A little later, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Some Pittsburgh high school students will visit the SpongeBob musical.
And we're going to take a look at your weekend forecast as well as a look at radar to let you know how much rain we expect tonight. We have all that when we come back. Well, as expected, we've had the rain develop and move across our area this afternoon and evening, generating some showers and thunderstorms, including Seneca, Missouri, with the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. You can see the wet parking lot there in Seneca, Missouri. It's going to remain wet all night tonight with those scattered showers and storms. We made it up to 58 today after starting out at 39, which were pretty close to the normals of 57 and 35, and we're ahead on the rainfall so far for the month and for the year. And looking at radar, it looks like that's going to be continuing at least through the next several hours into tomorrow. You can see the best chance of showers and storms tonight are going to be basically along and south of I-44, with some of the heaviest rain down in Delaware County and Benton County, as well as McDonald County. Zooming in on there, you can see the heaviest rain from Jay down to Kansas and then extending on over into western Benton County. And right now on the velocities, we're not really seeing anything rotating. That's good news as we are headed into springtime, and with that situation, we have to watch the radar very, very closely for any developing tornadoes, but not tonight. We have to worry about just rain tonight. Storms down to the south, though, are becoming strong to even severe along the Red River, and that's where it's going to stay for tonight. We do have some more storms off the coast of California. That's going to be putting waves of energy in our direction as we head over the next 24 to 36 hours, and that's going to keep the rain chances going. Temperatures right now are generally in the mid-40s up to the north, around 50 in the metro area, and then upper 50s down to the south, where it's 57 right now in Jay. Dew points are up as well, and of course that's to be expected with the rainfall that we've had. 50 in Chitopa, 48 in Grove right now. A little bit drier off towards the east in Neosho with 36 and 34 over there in Cassville. Right now you can see it raining still in Joplin with a temperature of 47 degrees, and it feels like 44 with that east wind at 6. Dew point is 43 and the humidity at 86%. Earlier, we had the winds out of the north in Pittsburgh. Right now it's 46 degrees, east-northeast winds at 11, so it makes it feel a little bit colder out there at 40. Humidity is currently at 92%. Best risk of severe weather tonight is going to be down in southern Oklahoma and northern Texas. Here in our area, we'll just have general thunderstorms with the best chance of a threat would be the heavy rainfall, a moderate chance of that. Rain chances tonight are going to start to decrease as we go through the overnight hours and then tomorrow. But then notice as we go into tomorrow night into Thursday morning, the rain chances jump right back up with that next wave. Tonight, temperatures are going to be dropping down into the 40s with light easterly winds. And then as we go through the day tomorrow, remaining mostly cloudy with highs in the 40s and 50s. Then here comes the next wave of precipitation as we go through tomorrow night into Thursday morning with lows in the 40s. And then as we head into the afternoon, we'll see temperatures rebounding into the upper 40s and lower 50s with the rain still with us. And then that will move out. And then by Friday morning, we'll see lows generally right around freezing with northerly winds. Rainfall amounts tonight are going to be heaviest down to the south. Like I said, in Delaware, McDonald, and Benton counties, with maybe some places picking up over an inch of rainfall. Over the next 7 days, rain again tonight, tomorrow morning, and then it rains again on Thursday with yet another round of rain on the weekend, and then drier for Monday and Tuesday before the next round of rain comes in, Dow. But of course, a lot of the farmers in southeast Kansas not complaining about all this rainfall.
No, they're still refilling a lot of those farm ponds out there.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Sam. Yeah, look at that. Pittsburgh High School's theater department is getting ready for its production of SpongeBob Musical. The department tonight hosted its media tonight. In the musical, an unexpected hero comes to the rescue as Bikini Bottom faces total destruction. The cast of characters includes all the SpongeBob staples you'd expect, including Patrick, Sandy, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, Plankton, and of course, Mr. SquarePants himself.
I think that the musical is a little bit different because we're trying to just do, we're not trying to personify him exactly like the cartoon character would be, but I think when you come to see the show, you will see how much these characters really do look like the cartoons and how much their characters are reflective of what was portrayed there.
But then it's just a lot of fun because it brings back a lot of childhood memories for most people.
Performances will be at 7 p.m. on Thursday and Friday and at 2 p.m. on Saturday at Pittsburgh High School. General admission tickets are $10 for adults, $5 for students. Students at Joplin High School's JoJo's Coffee Shop today received a DECA Gold Level Certification Award for their business efforts. Only 11 schools in Missouri received that certification. The judging criteria include procedures, training, financials, and marketing efforts of their school businesses.
It's meant a lot to me. I've got to work with other people that I've never really worked with before. So at first it's always a challenge because you don't really know how they like act or like what they do. But when you start to basically learn like what their work ethic is like, and you get to work together as a team, and then also meeting new students I've never met before.
The students who contributed to the certification were Taylor Colson, Adeline Gaston, and Colton Green. Still ahead, the Pitt State football team hits the field for their first practice of the spring. And the Carl Junction girls aim for their 8th straight district championship against rival Webb City. Jacob Leonard has those highlights and more up next.
Well, tonight is championship night at the Class 5 District 7 girls basketball tournament in Webb City. We actually get a rivalry game tonight for the district title, with the tournament host Webb City facing the Carl Junction Bulldogs. The Carl Junction is the top-ranked team in the state in Class 5. They're looking for their 8th straight district championship. First quarter, Sammy Mancini hits the jumper off the window. Webb City gets the first points of the night. Mancini leads the Cards with 23. On the other end, Destiny Berge connects on the corner 3. 16 in the first half for Berge. Bulldogs lead by 7 after 1. Second quarter, they add to that lead. Hallie Shorter, deep ball of her own. Carl Junction by 11 at the break. And they would finish it off in the second half. Kylie Scott, patient in the lane, hits the turnaround jumper. Chloe Burke, top of the key. 3 goes down. Burke gets 12 tonight for the Bulldogs. And finally, going back to Destiny Berge, drives right by everybody here and scores 36 points tonight for Destiny Berge. Carl Junction beats Webb City tonight 67-42. The Bulldogs get their 8th consecutive district title.
It was a lot of fun. You know, our girls came out and played hard. Obviously, it feels good to win our 8th in a row, and to do it here on the road at Webb City. Against Webb City was pretty impressive by our group.
It means a lot because we do really have good chemistry, and it helps, and it shows on the court obviously, and we just work the ball and we get each other open and we love each other and we have each other's backs no matter what happens.
They don't want to lose, you know, they don't want to lose, and you have that in, and if they continue to work at it, good things will happen, and that's what we've been talking about all week long, and we knew Webb City was going to play tough. They're a really good team, so I'm really proud of our kids.
Well, today is the opening day of spring practice for Pittsburgh State football. The Gorillas will practice through the rest of this month and into April before wrapping things up with their annual spring game on April 14th. Now, the Gorillas were up and on the field early this morning for practice number 1. Pitt State was 12-1 overall last season. They won the MIAA Conference Championship and won a playoff game before falling to eventual national champion Ferris State in the second round of the national playoffs. Now, their goal for the end of the season is the same as it always is, but after being in the weight room in the last few weeks, the Gorillas are excited to be back on the field, starting the process of trying to get back to the top of the MIAA.
That's exciting just to, you know, work with the new group this year and a new group of leaders and some guys that are filling some spots maybe where guys graduated a year ago, so that part's fun, and it's just always fun building, you know, from the ground up and seeing where we start here at spring, and then it'll be fun to see where we end up at the end of spring.
I think it's just getting better every day. Just keep finding one thing to get better at every day, individually, as a team, as a unit, and if we can do that, I think we can close the gap and have a good spring.
The St. Louis Cardinals are about 3 weeks away from their regular season opener. So far in spring training, the Cardinals are 6-3 in 9 games. And today the Cards hit the field against the Tigers. not a very good day. St. Louis gives up 16, falling 16-3. Daniel Carlson goes 1 for 3 on the day with a solo home run. The Cards are right back at it tomorrow afternoon against the New York Yankees. So I always love this time of the year because we have playoff basketball. It's meaningful. We have the opening, few weeks of baseball and softball, and then we get to sprinkle in some spring football too. It's a great time.
3 overlapping here for this brief moment in time.
It's busy, but I love it all.
Why not? We'll be right back. Actor Hugh Jackman recently wrapped up a run on Broadway, and now he's getting set to reprise his role as Wolverine in the next installment of the Deadpool movie series. But you don't just transform into Wolverine overnight. No, no, no. The 54-year-old posted images on Instagram of some of the meals he's eating to bulk up for the part. He says he's consuming 8,000 calories per day. It amounts to about 6 pretty good-sized meals and a whole lot of chicken. Now, Jackman will play opposite Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool 3. It's going to be his first time playing Wolverine for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, I'm sure that bulking up to be Wolverine involves more than just eating. Eating is probably the easy part, relatively speaking. But he will be ready, I'm sure. The weather.
We are expecting rain tonight, continuing through the weekend essentially, and then drying out Monday and Tuesday, and then more rain on Wednesday and Thursday of next week.
Final sports note.
Carl Junction wins their 8th consecutive district title tonight. They now move on to the Class 5 state quarterfinals. That quarterfinal game is going to be against Lincoln College Prep on Saturday in Sedalia, Missouri. If they win there, they are back in the Final Four of the Class 5 state bracket.
Wish them well. Thanks for joining us. Morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.